In JavaScript, making decisions within your code is a fundamental skill, and this is where if statements come into play. An if statement allows your script to execute a block of code when a specified condition evaluates to true. It's like telling your script, hey, if this condition holds, do this. Whilst you'll get a chance to practice this, take a moment to look at the specific characters we use to construct an if statement. We need to put our condition in brackets or parentheses and our code block in curly brackets. We've also added some indents to make our code more readable. Now, let's introduce the concept of if-else. With if-else, you can provide an alternative block of code to execute when the initial condition evaluates to false. It's a way of saying, if this condition is true, do this, otherwise do that. Adding on to that, we have else statements. An else statement can be used without an if statement, and it provides a default block of code to execute if none of the preceding conditions are true. Think of it as a catch-all for any scenario not covered by the previous conditions. Let's walk through a quick example. Imagine you're building a simple weather app. You could use an if statement to check if the temperature is above a certain level. If it is, display a message like, it's a sunny day. If not, you can then use the else statement to display a message like, it's a bit chilly today. Now, let's just touch briefly on switch statements. They're another way to make decisions in JavaScript, particularly when you have multiple possible conditions. Instead of a series of if statements, you provide different cases for the possible values of an expression. Switch statements can make your code more concise and readable, especially in scenarios with many possible outcomes. So in summary, if statements allow us to make decisions based on conditions. If-else statements add an alternative block of code, and else statements provide a default if no previous conditions are met.